Last episode, we took a ride down Pumpkin Lane and discovered why it's unique and special. We also got to seek out some of the unique characters who call this road home. And then we got to design and build our own road. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope you're wearing your creativity cap, because this is an episode you don't want to miss. Episode 3, Which Witch? Before we begin this activity, see if you can grab a pencil and paper. Pause this video until you find it. Then push play to continue on with us. Ready to begin? Great, me too. Let's get started.
Oh, hey guys, I was just about to start my favorite show, Which Witch is Which? Love this show. Come on, pull up a seat. Show's about to begin.
Welcome to Which Witch is Which, where we give you the clues and you decide which witch is which. Let's meet the witches. Witch number 1, Gilda. Witch number 2, Zara. Witch number 3, Esme. Witch number 4, Zerk. Which witch is which? We'll find out right after this commercial break.
Okay guys, this is when the game gets super fun. If you don't have a piece of paper and a pen, go grab one really fast and come right back. When you get back, let's label our paper A, B, C, and D. The host is going to describe each witch. In round A, she's going to give us one set of clues, and those clues are going to describe one of the witches we met earlier in the show. It's our job to use our careful listening ears and our watchful eyes to decide if we can decipher the clues and figure out which witch is which. Then we'll write the number of the witch next to round A. Then we're going to move on to round B. She's going to describe a new set of clues. Again, we want to have our watchful eyes and our careful listening ears because these clues are super tricky, but I think we can figure it out. When we know which witch is which, we're going to put the number that belongs to that witch under round B. Then there's going to be round C and D. Then she'll reveal the answers. Let's go check it out.
Ow! This is a public service announcement to let you know I think you are perfect.
Perfect! Get it? Pause? Ooh, that was a frightfully good joke. Good one.
Now back to our show!
Welcome back to our show. I'm so happy to see you again. Let's get ready to play. Make sure you have your piece of paper if you're playing along from home. We're about to begin. I'll read you some clues about each of these witches. It's your job to guess which witch is which. I'll read you 4 clues, one for each witch. Every time I read a clue, you'll decide which witch I'm talking about by putting their number in your answer key. Their number is located underneath their picture. Let's begin our game. Which witch is which? Round A. Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Potent potions are my specialty. Ever stirred your coffee with a stick before? If so, you'll know why I don't carry a broom. I don't prefer dust in my brew. I may not wear a pointed hat, but I am certainly a witch of top fashion. Which witch was I describing? Mark your answer if you dare. Round B. You think it was a cow that just jumped over the moon? That's what they all say, those silly nursery rhymes. But you guessed it. It was me. My golden mane shines in the moonlight. The craters on the moon you see are hoof marks, living proof that unicorns are real. My dress is my camouflage against the dark night sky, and by day, my golden cape becomes the sun. Which witch was I describing? Mark your answer if you dare. Round C. Some people think only Cupid can help them find true love. They get all gushy and mushy on Valentine's Day. Hearts and flowers and cards. Oh, that holiday ruins me every year. But there's always that occasional princess who will travel to my shores to catch a frog. I can be found in my witch's chamber, underneath the swamp. My mossy dress and antler crown camouflage me from view. Which witch was I describing? Mark your answer if you dare. Round D. Final clue. Am I a good witch or a bad witch? That is a meowvelous question. Though it's cold and snowy where I am from, the flame from my warm heart is carried like a torch, bringing light to all who seek it. Never fear, you're safe with me. I wear the color of love on my sleeve. My heart and light is yours. Come, let me lead the way. I'm perfectly harmless. Which witch was I describing? Mark your answer if you dare. Do you have your answers? Good. Now it's time for the big reveal. Which witch is which? Round A. Double, double, toil and trouble. Fire burn and cauldron bubble. Potent potions are my specialty. Ever stirred your coffee with a stick before? If so, you'll know why I don't carry a broom. I don't prefer dust in my brew. I may not wear a pointed hat, but I am certainly a witch of top fashion. If you guessed Zerk, you were right. Witch number 4, Zerk, is wearing a top hat and he's carrying a cane, a type of stick to help him walk and stir his brews. He also has the transformative power of turning into a bottle of elixir potion. Round B. You think it was a cow that just jumped over the moon? That's what they all say, those silly nursery rhymes. But you guessed it. It was me. My golden mane shines in the moonlight. The craters on the moon are living proof that unicorns are real. My dress is my camouflage against the dark night sky, and by day my golden cape becomes the sun. If you guessed Gilda, you were right. Which number 1? Gilda has the transformative power of becoming a unicorn. No, she doesn't jump over the moon. She flies over it. With a dress the color of the night sky and a cape as shiny and bright as the sun, she can disguise herself no matter what time of the day it is. Round C. Some people think only Cupid can help them find true love. They get all gushy and mushy on Valentine's Day. Hearts, flowers, cards. Ugh, that holiday ruins me every year. But there is always that occasional princess who will travel to my shore to catch a frog. I can be found in my witch's chamber underneath the swamp. My mossy dress and antler crown camouflage me from view. If you guessed witch number 2, Zara, you're correct. Like a prince, Zara is royalty. As a royal witch, she has the transformative power of turning from a queen to a frog and back again. Round D. Am I a good witch or a bad witch? That is a meowvelous question. Though it's cold and snowy where I am from, the flame of my warm heart is carried like a torch, bringing light to all who seek it. Never fear, you are safe with me. I wear the color of love on my sleeve. My heart and light is yours. Come, let me lead the way. I'm perfectly harmless. Although Esme has the transformative power of turning into a cat, her cool catness is no match for the warmth in her heart. Esme always carries the light with her to spread love, joy, and peace to everyone around her. Esme is 100% a good witch. That's all the time we have for tonight, folks. It was a hauntingly good time. We'll see you soon.
Alright guys, how'd you do? I know, super tricky, right? How'd you do?
Meow.
Don't worry about it. There's always next episode. I love this show.
Hello?
Special delivery.
Oh, wow! Thanks so much! There's only a few things I love more than a great show, and one of them is a great dinner party. Ghosts, goblins, and guests alike are in for a real treat, because we're going to host a dinner party. This is the first dinner party that's been hosted at Halloween Haven since, well, judging by the fabulous wallpaper, at least the 1500s. And we want to make it extra special. We've already learned some really unique and special things about Halloween Haven, and I'd love to create some decorations outside of the house that let people know from the minute they arrive that this place is extra spooktacular. I started by putting some ideas down on paper, some drawings of symbols and icons. We've been working with symbols and icons this whole entire project. Maybe we just didn't realize it. Some of you might recognize these symbols and icons from our sticker sheet. Good eyes. We'll get to that in a minute, but first, what's a symbol and what's an icon? And what's the difference? An icon is a simple image that represents a real object. For example, this bottle of potion or this wrought iron gate. These drawings look like the actual object they represent. And we're going to use them next episode to decorate our Halloween havens as if they are the real objects. But before we do that, why did we choose the icons we did? Why did we choose this gate or this bottle of potion for the sticker sheet? Why didn't we fill our sticker sheet with cute little bunnies or pink flamingos? Well, when we put icons of spooky things together into a collection, they begin to represent more than just a gate or just a bottle of potion. They call to mind something else that isn't directly pictured. Halloween. In other words, when grouped together, our minds do something really interesting. They turn these icons, these pictures of real objects, into symbols that represent the holiday of Halloween. Halloween isn't pictured in the icon of the gate or the icon of the potion, but we think about Halloween because of the way we have been taught to organize these icons as Halloween-y things, whereas we haven't been taught that bunnies and pink flamingos are Halloween specific. You can see where this gets tricky. Are you still confused? You're not alone. Many people get confused when they think about this stuff. So let's practice. Let's go back to the example of flamingos. Here are two flamingos. Both are icons of a flamingo, but one is also a symbol of Halloween. Which one? Hey Lauren, I thought you just said flamingos aren't Halloween-y. Why is this one now considered Halloween-y? That's right, the pink flamingo is an icon because it looks like an actual bird. Nothing Halloween about it. But the skeleton flamingo is a symbol of Halloween because it calls to mind a skeleton, which is
also one of the spooky things that is a symbol of Halloween. Okay, let's try one more. Here are two pictures of people wearing costume masks. Both masks are orange. Both cover half of the face. Both have black shapes around the eyes. But our eyes are telling our minds that even though they look similar, they're not the same. One is a symbol of Halloween, and even though the other could be worn for Halloween, it isn't Halloween specific. Can you guess which mask would be a symbol of Halloween? Nice work! Okay, now that I've successfully turned our brains into mush, let's start to set up our workstation. First, reach inside your box and pull out that new brain. Kidding. What I meant to say was, pull out your clay. You'll also need your work mat. That's that clear sheet of plastic that's see-through in your kit. These are the only two things you will need for today, so put a sleeping spell on the other items in your box, including those stickers, until the next episode. I know it's tempting, but stick with us if you can. If you're still setting up, that's okay. Push pause until your workstation is set up, then push play to join us again. Okay, let's begin. For this project, we're using a super fluffy air-dry clay, and we're also using this clear sheet as a work mat. I put some brown paper under my sheet just so you could see what I'm doing. Since the clay is white, my table is white, and the work mat is see-through, I wanted to give you the best view possible. If you can keep the clay on the work mat, you won't need paper underneath. Open the clay and remove it from its package. Then spend some time getting familiar with the texture of this clay. You'll notice it's super lightweight, super stretchy, and really fluffy. Anything you sculpt or mold out of this clay will dry hard after a few hours of being left out in the open air. So if you plan on making some things now and some things later, you'll want to make sure to store your extra clay in a Ziploc bag or back in its original packaging so it doesn't dry out. This work mat will also double as a drying rack so that the clay sculptures you make won't get stuck to the surface. Eventually, when our decorations are dry, we're going to want to transfer them from the work mat onto our Halloween Haven. If we make our sculptures and stick them directly onto Halloween Haven or the table, they'll get stuck. That's why this work mat is so important. You can make anything you want with this clay. Be creative. I'm going to walk you through a few ideas just in case you need a bit of help to get started. Remember, this clay takes some time to dry hard, so even if you try out an idea and change your mind, it's okay to go back and make something else out of the same clay. Let's start with a simple pumpkin. I loved those joke-telling pumpkins we first met when we discovered Halloween Haven. Start by pinching off a piece of clay and rolling it between your palms to make a ball, like this. The next part is totally optional, but I thought it was kind of cool. I took the back end of my paintbrush and I pressed some indentation lines into the pumpkin to give it a more
realistic effect. You might even be able to use this technique for other sculptures too. Then I pinched off the tiniest bit of extra clay to make a tall, skinny stem. I don't need glue to stick the two pieces together. The clay will stick together all on its own. Then I curled a little extra piece to make that curly cue from the vine. Next, I'm going to walk you through how to make this sweet little ghost. Next episode, I'm going to add jewels for sparkling, glowing eyes. Start by pinching off a piece of clay about the size of a ping pong ball and roll it between your palms until it's round. Then give yourself a thumbs up. Congratulations, you're doing it. But you also want to use that thumb for the mold of the ghost. Gently push your thumb into the center of the ball and then stretch the ends of the ball out. This will give you the basic shape of a really flowy ghost. When you remove it from your thumb, you can shape it a bit more by pulling and tugging gently on the ends. Ooh! Now, I'm going to use jewels for the eyes on my ghost, but you could also use the back end of your paintbrush to push some eye holes into your ghost too. And finally, what kind of Halloween is it without a black cat? Okay, I know what you're thinking. Our clay is white, and a black cat is a Halloween tradition. We can paint the clay once it's dry, but start by rolling another ball, and then squishing the two ends of the ball like feet. Then roll a smaller ball for the head, and we're going to do the same thing for the ears as we did for the feet, just in the opposite direction. Stick the ball on top of the body, and then pinch the top to make two sweet little ears. And of course, this cat needs a long, mischievous, curly tail. These are just 3 ideas, but I'm sure you can come up with many more. Experiment, play around. What kind of spooky Halloween symbols and icons can you create? Tombstones, a pile of bones, a witchy cauldron. When you're finished making your clay sculptures, allow them to dry on the plastic sheet for at least 4 hours. If you're going for the minimalist or the sleek modern look, you can leave everything white. But if you'd like to paint some of your objects, great! I'll show you how you can do that too. I know it's tempting to start painting right away, but be sure you wait 4 hours before you start. In the meantime, you can start to plan out how you want to paint your objects and set up your workstation. The great thing about making your sculptures on this work mat is you don't really have to set up a new workstation. You can put the paints right on the plastic sheeting, and your surface will already be protected by that plastic sheet when you begin painting your objects. You can experiment with how to use these paints in different ways. For my tombstone, I used a wet brush and the tiniest bit of paint. The water helped make the paint transparent, so when I applied the layers, it had an almost worn, old look to it. This was perfect for my tombstone. Wow, that looks really great. So I'm going to try it on my pumpkin too. I'm going to take a bit of orange and add some water to my paint until it's a really thin, runny paint. Then I'm going to apply it to my pumpkin in thin coats. That way I'll be able to see the different textures that I've carved into the pumpkin using the side of that paintbrush. By painting in these thin layers, my pumpkin will also stand out on the rest of my tablescape, whereas if I painted it with paint at full strength, it might blend in or camouflage. Nice, that looks great. There's so many different ways you can paint your decorations, and I can't wait to see how you choose to paint yours. You could add motifs like stripes or polka dots. Here I'm painting a jack-o'-lantern face onto my ghost pumpkin. Hi there! I'm going to leave my pile of bones, my ghost, and my cauldron white, so all I have left to paint is my black cat. When I'm finished painting, I can let everything dry on my work mat. Next episode, we'll put all of these components together and start decorating our Halloween havens, just in time for the dinner party. I can't wait. See you then!